Let's talk about the NRA.
From my cold, dead hands.
For my viewers outside the United States not in the know, the NRA, or National Rifle Association, is the largest gun lobby in the United States, if not the world. While exact numbers aren't known, the organization claims near 5 million members, and a good number of American gun manufacturers seem pretty keen on donating. Makes sense. If you're gonna make money off of guns, you may as well donate to the guys who make the gun laws. With a dramatic increase in gun violence in the United States, discussions of gun control have come up a lot, though the NRA tells another story. It's not the guns, it's something else. Soon-to-be president of the NRA, Oliver North, blamed children with Ritalin prescriptions and a culture of violence.
If you look at what has happened to the young people, many of these young boys have been on Ritalin since they were in kindergarten.
Oliver North would know. A decorated general and a consultant who assisted in the production of Black Ops 2, along with making a quick appearance in the game.
Lieutenant Colonel North, NSC. You already know Jason Hudson. What are you doing here?
Wait a second. What the fuck? So the NRA does not condone violence in the current climate, or any climate for that matter, unless the person that they're hiring on happens to be an ex-Marine involved in the Iran-Contra affair and later went on to work on Call of Duty Black Ops 2.
Call of Duty Black Ops 2, great opportunity for me to be a consultant on the script, as it were, the story plot. This isn't just a video game. It's a wake-up call.
Great job, fellas. To show how much it doesn't condone this violence, the NRA released 3 video games: NRA Practice Range, NRA Varmint Hunter, and NRA Gun Club. Well, NRA Practice Range was pulled from the Apple App Store earlier in 2018, just kind of suddenly vanishing. Far as I can tell, the NRA did some take-backsies on their approval of this one. NRA Varmint Hunter, prestigious winner of the Golden Mullet from X-Play back in 2006, is... well, it's inherently violent. You shoot critters. Oh, X-Play, you will be missed. In an effort to show instead the least violent, least offensive, most pure version of the NRA's vision of a video game with guns, I'd like to finally present this photoshopped man. Clearly the game's primary audience, people who just can't hit a target unless a computer's helping. Case said it was made for everybody 10 and up, and I think the NRA wants you to believe it, but I sure as hell don't. But I didn't believe old dirty bastard when he said Wu-Tang was for the children, either.
But when it comes to the children, Wu-Tang is for the children. We teach the children.
NRA Gun Club, or just Gun Club for those of you in the EU and Britain, is a game produced by Highway 1, made by Jarhead Games, and published by Crave Entertainment. A game that respects weapons so much they decided the soundtrack should imitate experimental composer John Cage's most famous work, 4 minutes, 33 seconds. It's not all you hear, but it's certainly the leitmotif of the soundtrack. Ah, I do love experimental music. In this campaign, you must suffer through 4 different categories of shooting with 2 variations, usually some mix of pistol and rifle. Time to get qualified in a sport that does not hold an official qualification in the NRA? Plinking. Well, as far as I know anyway. You can qualify in musket though. Bet you that'd be more fun. In the plinking game mode, you shoot detritus, which is great fun when you got a BB gun, but when you're playing a PS2 game with tank turret controls, fun it ain't. And the feel of these guns is just atrocious for something okayed by the National Rifle Association. To give you a small hint, this game runs on the Gamebryo engine. You know, the same one that runs New Vegas. A game with such great gunplay, they created VATS so you didn't have to actually use the guns. And to be honest, using the guns in NRA Gun Club feels about the same as the guns in early 3D Fallout titles. Just, you can't move from your one spot. The one interesting thing you can do is hold down the stick you use for aiming to hold your breath in the game. I genuinely think this is the only thing about NRA Gun Club that had me go, huh.
Yeah, it's a neat way to do it. Glad I can hold my breath so I can more accurately hit this can.
Which, by the way, matters if you want to use more than the boring beginner weapons and see if you can't score that fucking sweet Uzi. Oh, they got two.
You know, the gun made for Israeli defense. Not sport. At all. Definitely violence.
Anyway, being more accurate when using beginner guns unlocks the other levels of gun. How do you prove to the game you're worthy? Finish the category's long variant. How do you get that? Finish short and medium. What's short and medium like? Well, if you mash short and medium together, you get long. And you get to do this for every subcategory. It's not too bad for some of the categories, but
once you get to the long version of target shooting, though, everything else seems to disappear and time begins to melt around you. Eventually, time will stand still and you will begin to melt, ebbing and flowing through time you didn't know you had. Every aggravating moment of this game beginning to seep into your pores, a boredom that drips down into your soul. Your heart slows with every time you hit a bullseye, because time even freezes in the game for a moment before continuing on. And you have to do this more, always more. Everyone else worries about you. But you've stopped feeling a long time ago the sound of pistol and rifle fire replacing everything else. You don't know where tomorrow is anymore. All you know is NRA Gun Club. And all NRA Gun Club knows is it's just really boring, is what I'm saying.
With no music and only the sound of air horns, bullets, and a whole one human voice. So, without further ado, meet the one whole human voice.
10 seconds!
I'm gonna name him Colton. Probably Sean Colton.
5 seconds!
He's the person in charge of the sound and music for NRA Gun Club.
Out of time!
Wait, what the heck? What music?
Colton is your only human in this whole experience as far as I can tell, other than yourself. His favorite phrases are...
10 seconds! 5 seconds! Out of time!
Though he does say a few other things when you start playing with the shotgun.
Ooh, nice! Great shot! Direct hit! Direct hit! Deep hit!
Wow, he's just so much more pumped than I am about this, and twice the actor. Speaking of pumps, let's just go on to the shotguns and, turns out the shotgun part of this game is actually kinda bullshit. First off, I never thought I'd get tired of sound from this game, but...
Pull! Ooh, nice! Ooh, nice!
Just give it a hot minute. You'll get tired of it too. Second, these controls were designed... Okay, it's the Gamebryo engine. I don't think it was designed for guns.
Yeah, come to think of it, I don't think this game was made for guns.
One thing I'll give this game credit for is having shotguns with a decently tight spread. A little too tight, it's pretty damn hard trying to hit clay pigeons. You don't know which direction they're gonna fly, which... Okay, that's fair. That's how it actually is. But when you can only aim so fast... Look, I haven't felt this much anxiety since I saw a car on fire outside my apartment. Turns out there is a sensitivity option though. Kinda buried under profiles, where you have to hit R1 to access the settings. Helpful in case you have other humans who want to play this.
Who the hell wants to play this? So, after cranking up the sensitivity, turns out the game got a lot easier.
A team in the Overwatch League should probably hire me as their sniper now. Look, I spent an hour trying to get finished with the last challenge for skeet shooting, and unlike target shooting, where time didn't seem to move, I know time was moving without me. You gotta get 100 of 125 total shots, and let me tell you, I think I might have cried a little every time this happened. Sometimes, when you hit a pigeon, you don't hit a pigeon. Okay, maybe that's realistic, like you just kinda nick the thing, but it doesn't count on a real range.
Yeah, well on real gun ranges, you're not two floating arms and a gun.
I rage reset over and over and over and over. Finally, I got 101 shots needed out of 100. Proudest achievement of my life. Next is the practical course, and whoo boy, I'm gonna tell you right now, go all semi-auto, make sure you have a scope on your rifle, and for the love of goodness, whatever god or gods you like, make sure those magazines are huge, because we're about to speedrun this thing. No, seriously, the whole challenge is based off of points divided by time, and the first run will chew you up and spit you out. Wait, I'm fucking moving! Well, kinda. You get to press a direction on the D-pad and, you know, move. Gets you really twisted up on the more advanced courses though. Still, I persisted, and while in every other category I just did not care enough to get expert.
I had to taste this end game of a no game.
I had to see what that sweet Uzi was like. And that other sweet Uzi. And, the SAR, the SAR. Truth be told, I don't care enough to look at what's going on with this thing. But it's automatic. And it's not worth it. It's like those things were just put in here to just taunt you. Automatic weapons don't work like that, fool. This isn't Call of Duty. Yeah, that's right, we put them in so you drool on them, but this isn't Counter-Strike. Guns aren't fun. So pick this shotgun up. Yep, this one right here. Finally, from the military, now for your civilian comfort.
But when it comes to the children, Wu-Tang is for the children. We teach the children.
I call bullshit!
So with that, we've completed the main game, and I haven't even started talking about the minigame. Yeah, I'm not talking about the minigames.
Yep, I'm done. Okay, I got one more question. Who's responsible for this?
Well, the NRA seemed kind of proud of this thing. In their official press release, the managing director Michael Marcelin said, "In keeping with the NRA mission, this game tests marksmanship in a sporting environment and emphasizes responsible use of firearms. This is a fun and exciting game, challenging all ages and all level of firearms proficiency." The press release then goes on to name the other guilty parties: Crave Entertainment and Highway 1 Productions. Okay, Jarhead Games isn't explicitly mentioned, but they're guilty too, believe me. This is a really strange bunch of people to make an NRA game though, especially in 2006. Jarhead Games, which as far as I could find was the old budget games portion of Piranha Games. While Piranha was involved with games like Die Hard, Nakatomi Plaza, and MechWarrior Online, Jarhead is involved with games like
Marine Sharpshooter 1, Marine Sharpshooter 2, Marine Sharpshooter 3, Marine Sharpshooter 4. No, I'm not playing any of these. I just played NRA Gun Club. Are you mad?
Crave Entertainment, the publisher? Oh, this was absolutely their wheelhouse. They're kind of a schlock factory, and if you've seen a budget title, you've probably seen the logo. Deadliest Catch, America's Next Top Model, Napoleon Dynamite, The Bible Game. Okay, so The Bible Game isn't a licensed game. It'd be pretty strange if the big G was in the sky, like licensing their likeness. Speaking of G's, far as I can tell, the producer Highway 1 Productions got their start with the game Get On Da Mike, a karaoke game focusing on the OGs and... Look, they didn't have any Tribe stuff on their song list. How do you screw that up? Their biggest game at this point was an online third-person shooter called 25 to Life, a cops and robbers themed shoot 'em up. But if the producers of a cop-killing game got a pass from the NRA, I think they just didn't give a shit. We'll never know just who talked to who first about this budget title, but it's like the NRA just wanted a royalty check with all the research that they didn't do. I mean, good thing something like this wasn't made by a big company like Activision. I'm sure plenty of reporters would have had a field day if they found out something of yours was tied to a company that made violent games after all. You know, like if the future president of your association was involved with Call of Duty Black Ops 2.
Woods and his squad no longer exist.
We got whatever you need, Mason. Name it.
Whatever I need? Good, because I gotta talk about your organization, Mr. North. Gun Club was out late 2006, but I feel like maybe we'll get a bigger picture going back to 2005. According to Gallup, in 2005 the NRA was really on top. 60% of Americans thought the NRA was either in the very favorable or mostly favorable camps. Also in 2005, the political landscape at least liked to look a little bipartisan. Of the cash they used in the House of Representatives, about 20% was used on Democratic candidates. Hell, 63 Democratic House incumbents received donations from the NRA.
Getting enough cash together to support that many politicians, not to mention the laws that they try to pass, and I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole on the internet, but it takes a lot of cash.
By looking in the public tax returns for the NRA, though, we can get a peek at what they get from where. Most of the cash comes from NRA membership, almost a given. In 2005, somewhere about $76 million came from membership dues, with more cash coming in from NRA publications. Past that, you got donations. Go a little further down the line, you've got cash from advertising, and past that,
royalties. Okay, they're not quite making $76 million in royalties, they're making $9 million, which, once you get into the millions, money's funny anyway. But they did have their logo on a lot of things. Now, I don't know exactly who stamped the logo on what and who said, hey, let's make a video game, but I can tell you who shows up in the special thanks.
Michael Marcellet. Seen, I'm gonna be honest, I couldn't find a picture of him. Has anybody seen him? He used to work for the Office of the Treasury of the NRA, and while I can't be certain that these 3 games are his babies, in Gun Club, he's the highest ranking NRA member given a thanks in the credits. And he shows up in press releases for both Shooting Range and Varmint Hunter. Heck, he shows up in all sorts of press releases, like the ones for the NRA gun cleaning supplies, or the NRA credit card, the NRA car buying site, shit, I don't know, NRA wine?
Oh. Oh no. He's not just the guy they threw on the press here. This is apparently his brainchild.
This is just a bad idea. Like a fast food place sponsoring the Olympics, or starting a YouTube show by talking about the NRA, or not checking the resume of companies making your game, or the NRA making a non-violent video game and showing the world an example of what they think games should be. This beautiful thing just tries to fire and jams on the first shot. While I might be tempted to join, say, the NRA Wine Club, I don't think I'll be renewing my membership to this gun club anytime soon. It's a bare-bones shooting gallery in every way and fun in absolutely none. With the earlier pulling of a similar game on the App Store and with no mention of this game since its release by the National Rifle Association, I think this might be the only case the NRA and myself can agree the guns are the problem.